Hi, it's Candy Evans here of Candy's Dirt, and I'm so excited to have an interview for you today with Adam Lampert, who is the founder and CEO of Cambridge Caregivers and Manchester Care Homes. Now, I've written about them before. I've been there before. I'm a huge fan of these homes, which are a wonderful place to put your loved ones when they can no longer be in their home by themselves. As you know, we'll all get to that point. So let me introduce Adam to you. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks
Isn't
for having
this
me
a
here.
beautiful spot to be?
This is a great space. Thanks
Yes.
for inviting me.
I'm so excited to talk about your homes, and I've continued to be impressed that this is your business model and you came up with it. And I know that one of the most critical components that you deal with is the staffing. And so I thought today we would talk about staffing. It's sort of hot topic right now. It's hard to get employees. It's critical for you because your employees are the face of your business. They're with your clients 24/7. It's not just like a restaurant where they come in and go out. So tell me how you do this. I mean, is there a secret sauce to it? Because you do such a great job. Everyone I know loves your employees.
Well, first of all, I would entirely agree with you that our staff are the face of our business.
Mm-hmm.
And as an example, yesterday in one of our orientations for new staff, that's exactly my message to them, is that I'm not the one in our homes with my hands on the loved ones, nor am I in the homes where we're traveling to someone's home to do that. They are. And so the fact that they have a caregiver gene
Mm-hmm.
is very special. And I hardly can tell them that I have that level of patience.
Exactly.
Their ability to do what they do is special and unique. And so there's a recognition that what we try to do is whatever we need to make their lives a little bit easier.
So you also have an incredible employee retention rate, and that is something that is really an art for a company to have. I believe in it completely. I think it's good for our country too, to have people employed for a long time. It's actually easier on the employer. So how do you do that? And is it great benefits, or, what do you do to keep that rate so high?
Well, we know we have a very high retention rate.
Yeah.
And
one of the highest in the business.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And we like to believe that's not by accident. Mm-hmm. That we do a lot of things that we believe are attractive to our staff. You mentioned compensation and wages. I mean, obviously that's the first driver. That's the first thing that a staff person is going to be attracted to work for someone. But it's certainly not the last thing, because it may be the first thing, but there's a lot more to being part of a company mm-hmm. than earning a wage, because we really don't want to be a place where if someone gets an offer for a quarter more per hour that they're going to leave. And so what we try to do is have a multifaceted approach to retention. You mentioned wages. We are absolutely competitive, if mm-hmm. not a bit high on wages. But more importantly, it's about the other benefits. Benefits. And benefits such as health insurance.
Very cool.
And for years, we have been covering 80% of the healthcare premium for our staff.
Wow.
And again, I was explaining in an orientation yesterday, for someone earning an hourly wage to recognize that the health benefit alone, if you choose health benefits, is $3.50 of you could tack that onto your hourly wage, because that's the value of health insurance that the company pays on their behalf. Mm-hmm. We want them to have health insurance. We want them to understand health insurance and use health insurance. Mm-hmm. And we help them in that path. In addition to that, we have paid time off. And that's also another attractive benefit, mm-hmm. an attractive feature, because mm-hmm. first of all, depending on whether they work at Cambridge or Manchester, they can earn different amounts of paid time off. Manchester, candidly, they can earn more paid time off. Mm-hmm. Why is that a benefit?
Because they're in the home all the time.
Well, yes. Yeah. And so we definitely, we have a little bit different package for people who work in the homes mm-hmm. Than for those who work out in the field, so to
field.
speak.
Let me just interject here. There are basically two sides of your business: the Manchester Care Homes, which is the actual homes that are built, designed, architecturally designed and built to be caregiving homes, and they're beautiful. And then there's Cambridge Caregivers, who will come into your home, to the individual home, correct?
You're exactly right.
Yes.
And thank you for, pointing out that there are two very different parts of the business there.
Business, right.
But our care homes are in residential communities, but they were, as you mentioned, purposely built
Right.
To be care homes. And those we've had for nearly a dozen years. For 12 years we have. And so that's kind of the core of our business. And, the tenure of our staff, particularly in our homes, is many years. I haven't looked, but everybody might average 4 years, tenure in a business where turnover may be 50 to 80% in a year.
It is absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we really try to create that environment where people want to stay with us. And the paid time off is one of those things, because we have a lot of immigrants who work for us who, when they travel, they're going to travel for a month. And
Right.
it's super when you can go travel for a month, have confidence your job is there when you come back,
Right.
and the company is paying for half of that or more because you've accumulated paid time off.
You have a happy employee there who is not going to jump the gun the minute they're offered maybe a half a cent more or a
That's
dollar
right.
more somewhere else. So I think that's what's really important and very smart, that you think ahead that way and think that not only is this a good value for the employee, but the turnaround is that it's a good value for the company then, because you will have that person and all their expertise back. Don't have to retrain again.
Well, a lot of the success of the operation is continuity of care.
Yes.
And so to the family,
Right.
for them to understand and see that it's the same caregiver, and that caregiver, there's a consistency in the caregiver themselves, and the level of care gives them tremendous comfort.
Right.
And they recognize that their loved one is being cared by someone who, frankly, they get to know
Yes.
as a family member. Just yesterday, I got a phone call from the son of one of our clients, who just was raving about our particular staff. Two particular staff who are on that job, who he fell short of saying that his parents love them as much as they love their children. He hesitated, but he was on that path to say that. They love them more than, they love them a lot.
They love them a lot.
But that's what continuity does.
Absolutely.
That is what longevity does.
Absolutely.
And you're right. We're a business, and my purpose is to create an environment where our staff want to be here, because there's benefit to us to have that continuity, that we know who the caregivers are the same way the families get to know who the caregivers
I wish
are.
more businesses just treated employees that way and understood that it's better for them in the long run than that. I mean, why did everyone want to keep their own doctors when we were discussing healthcare? Continuity of care.
Right.
You don't want to jump around. And it's the same thing with caregivers and this very critical role of people who are bathing you, feeding you, helping you go to sleep, monitoring your medications.
Right.
I mean, right there, having someone who knows, okay, she's on this medication and she can't take it until 6 o'clock at night with yogurt is vital. And it seems silly, but it's absolutely vital in your business.
So, and we want our caregivers to have a clear head when they're working. And the way that we might impact that is, for instance, as a call that I got today, where we had an employee whose car needed repair, and asked if we could loan him money to repair the car, which
Wow.
we do absolutely at zero interest to our staff, because the message I want our staff to hear from the company is that we care about them. We recognize stuff happens in life, and that they're not walking alone in that path. And to me, it's a bargain that we have with our staff.
Yeah.
that they know the more that I can prove to them that the company is behind them, they pay back, with great dividends, right?
Absolutely.
With the care that they give to our clients. And they're clear to tell me, that they know how fortunate they are to be with a company that cares for them.
Right.
As in days past.
I mean, I think I want to come work for you. And that's
Come on.
amazing.
Come
That
on.
is amazing that you would actually loan your employees, money when they have.
You would be great, Candy.
Oh.
You would absolutely be terrific. No, I know.
We would have
You're
so
a
much
caregiver.
fun.
Exactly.
Oh, totally.
Right.
We might have a little champagne at 5, though. That's what we might do.
Absolutely.
But no, I really want people to hear that this is an employer who will go to the length of actually lending money, that you have an employee who is not afraid to pick up the phone and say, hey, I've got a problem, because they need that car to get to work.
That's right.
Exactly.
We definitely communicate with our staff that if there are any issues on the job, as an example, a lot of staff are very reluctant to raise issues and problems that they may have. And I could tell you, I deal with these on a weekly basis. I dealt with it this morning. But we are very clear with our staff that they are never going to be reprimanded for telling us that there's an issue. They may have fear, but not our staff.
Yeah, your staff.
They're not fearful that way, because they know that personally I'm a champion for them, and that the company is a champion for them, and we will jump in and we will see that we can clarify a situation, modify it, do whatever is necessary so that they're comfortable doing what they do.
Wow. You said it best. When have you ever heard an employer or the owner of a company say, my employees are the face of my company. I need them. I depend on them. It's amazing to hear that. I think that we know the reason why your companies are so successful, and what you do is you're preparing for the silver tsunami that's coming of people like me getting a little bit older and having to maybe not be able to take care of ourselves as well as we did. And we need help and we need care. And we have the option now with Cambridge Caregivers to bring people into the home and help you out, come and go, minimum 4 hours a day, something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the fact is, Candy, is that we're dealing with your parents' generations,
right,
issues today. We're not even to your generation,
and that's a coming,
and that's a coming, and so it's definitely an area of great growth, and frankly, an area that as a society we need to focus on.
Totally.
Particularly with staffing and employment, because you realize that these are the people with their hands on your mom and dad, or aunt or uncle, or husband or wife.
That's so important. Where do you best find your employees? Do you have job fairs? Do you advertise? Kind of, how do you best find them?
Right. Well, yes, we do all of that, and more. We do hold job fairs. We go and we actively recruit among our own staff, because they're usually in friend circles of other caregivers, and so we definitely look to entice them to help identify people who can work for us. We've gone to colleges. We actually have our own institute where we can actually teach CNAs. But
really?
Yeah, and believe me, our purpose was not to get into the education business. Our purpose was to find credible, qualified individuals to staff.
So you would train them to make sure that they are that credible.
That's right. And so
fascinating.
That's right. But we are very excited to work with partners in colleges to identify those people and bring those up, because interestingly, good caregivers run between generations. We have great caregivers who are 20 years old and great caregivers who are 70 years old.
Really?
And it's just remarkable. Like I said early on, there's like a caregiver gene. And when you have it, then you're on, and you're just really good at it. And as a company, we're very respectful of that.
Yes. I know, it's great. And the last thing I want to cover before we leave is that another reason why it's so important that you have a really good close relationship with your employees and that they have so much respect for their employer is that you are one of the few homes that did not have to deal with COVID at all. Because, and I remember reporting on this story, every employee was educated, every employee was vaccinated, I'm sure, and every employee cared enough to keep their life at home and keep it, private, not go out, not share, because they knew they had the responsibility of coming in to caregive for, maybe some senior citizens who are a little more vulnerable during this pandemic. And I think that Sandy did such a great job. Sandy is your director of nursing. We actually were together when the pandemic started, and she was just, okay, gonna go to the books, gonna figure out how to do this one, and we're gonna do it. And she did. And that is yet another bit of evidence that the right quality of employees really helps and is so important. And I just laud you for doing that.
Well, our approach to the pandemic was not an accident. And we took a very specific path in an effort to protect our residents and to protect our staff.
Yeah.
And undoubtedly we were successful because we had 0 cases of COVID in our homes, and not a single staff person in our homes came down with the disease. Now, it's against all the odds. I mean, that should not have happened, but it does go to a very tight community of caregivers and a very closeness to the ones that they're caring for. And very prideful of that. One of the fundamental things I'm reminded is that is about our culture, and the fact that we have a culture that definitely is predicated on this level of respect, on the concept of respect, and that kind of makes its way through all of this conversation, Candy, because I can't control what somebody does when they go home, right? And so when our staff go home in a pandemic, how are they spending their time?
Right.
Where are they exposing themselves? But they recognize what we've created with this culture of respect, which is, I demand respect, you would think, as the boss, right? But I'm here to tell whatever staff person is, whoever the staff is, I have to respect them too. Right. And they have to respect one another. And that's just fundamental to our model.
And that's obviously very evident from the way things went this past year.
That's right. That's right.
The culture is very strong. It's a very respectful culture. And quite frankly, it's a very pro-employee culture that I think you're proud to announce.
That's right. And I do believe that that's what sets us apart from competitors. I think it is why staff come to work for us and stay. And because it is a breath of fresh air to work with. I hope it's a breath of fresh air to work with a company that is respectful of all their staff, that will stand behind their staff, that will fight for their staff. All along, I recognize it's because the staff are the foundation of this company.
Well, it's a completely wonderful tribute to you and your work and your vision. And now I want to just ask you if you're hiring and if you're expanding and kind of like, where are you going with this in the future? Because as I said, great business model with a lot of future potential.
Right. So we're always in hiring mode, but we've had strong growth for year over year, and we expect to hire dozens of people by the end of this year.
Wow.
And so we have very high targets because the business is growing. So I would tell people to absolutely contact us. We will be having a job fair on the 17th, which is a week from this Saturday.
This July 17th?
This July 17th at our corporate office. And our purpose is to find those exceptional individuals who have that caregiver gene and want to find a home.
Do you have the caregiver gene?
Come see us
at Manchester Care Homes and Cambridge Caregivers. And where is your office located?
So our office is located near 635 and Central Expressway.
Okay, so it's very close by.
Right. And our homes are located not far
They're
in any
not-
direction
right.
from our office.
They're all in residential neighborhoods, which again, I think is just part of the brilliance of them. So, Adam, thank you so much. I always enjoy getting with you. I learned so much, and I appreciate your genius so much, because it's a company that is not only obviously helping you and your success, but it's helping others. It's helping give jobs to many, many people, many fine jobs, and respect and a great culture to all your employees. And you're obviously taking great care of your customers and clients as well. So thank you.
Well, you're too kind, but thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. And don't forget, July 17th, the
July
job
17th.
fair. Exactly. Do you have the caregiver gene? I love that. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back.